रे सर्वं ब्रह्ममयं रे.
Yeah, namaste. Good morning. Can you hear? Namaste. The audio is clear? Hello. Yeah. Okay. Because this is there is some problem with the internet. That is why. Yeah. Audio is okay? Yeah. Okay. We'll start. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां. शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः. गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः. गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ददामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्. नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र. येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः. प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः. सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्. वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोपला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला. अश्वत्थामपि कर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैः रणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः. पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितं. लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे. मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः. ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा. देवाय तस्मै नमः. ओम. Good morning and welcome all. Can you hear me? Someone please answer. Can you hear me? Hello. I'm unable to hear you. I don't know what happened. One second. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Hello. Yeah, yeah, better. Okay, very good. Yeah, because there is some problem with the internet, so I am using the mobile phone. And one second. Oh, I think the internet connection has restored. 1 second, okay. I am trying to connect with my laptop. Is it okay now? Can you hear?
Yes, sir. Much
Okay.
better.
Excellent.
Very good.
Yeah, very
Thank
good.
you.
So we are back to the system. Okay. Okay, we'll start. So we have been discussing Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We are in the 8th chapter. Akshara Brahma Yogam, and we completed up to verse 4. So we will continue with verse number 5. Yeah. So hope you are remember the other previous ones where Bhagavan explained about Adhiyajnam, Adhibhutam, Adhidaivam, and Adhyatmam, Akshara Brahmam also. So now Bhagavan continues with the 5th verse. Andakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalebaram yah prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayah. Andakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalebaram yah prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayah. Yaha antakalecha, whoever at the time of death, okay, antakale, kalebaram muktva, while dropping this body, mameva smaran, remembering me or recollecting me, okay, recollecting me means Paramatma, prayati, or who leaves or travels, saha madbhavam yati. Atra samshayaha na asti. There is no doubt. What is atra samshayaha na asti? What doubt is not there? That saha madbhavam yati. That person reaches me only. Antakale cha mameva. One atra samshayaha nasti. There is no doubt in this. There is absolutely no doubt that one who recollects me or remembers me. 1 second, somebody wants to join. Yeah. So one who remembers me during death, antakale, then saha madbhavam yati. He remembers or he reaches me only. He reaches Paramatma. That means he merges with me. So, what is this antakale? See, antakale means at the last breath. So when is this last breath? Last time when we will breathe? There is no guarantee that we know this point, right? We will never know this. The breath, the prana, when it goes out, we have no guarantee. There is no guarantee that next time we will be able to breathe, or the next time the prana or the breath will come inside, right? When it goes out, it goes out. If it comes back, it comes back. So that last breath, we will never know. The point, we will never know. It can be now, it can be tomorrow, it can be after 10 years, or it can be after 50 years. There is no way we will come to know. Anything can happen at any moment of time, right? This is very clear. We all know this. This has happened with many around us. The birds, the plants, the animals, the humans, right? At any moment, this thing is happening all around us. So there is no guarantee that this will come back. So, how to remember, how to recollect this Bhagavan, right? The only way we can recollect is only by constant practice of remembering. Unless we don't remember God or Bhagavan at all times, it will be very difficult to recollect Bhagavan at the last moment. When that will be, we have no idea. So if we practice now, if the breath goes out in the next moment also, we will remember. Is it not? We will remember. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. That is why there is a story of this Bhaja Govindam. Shankara Bhagavad Padar was walking in Kashi when he was very young, and there he sees a old man, very old, practicing Vyakaranam. At this old age, he was practicing Vyakaranam instead of chanting Bhagavan's name. Then Shankaracharya saw this and felt so sorry, and he wrote Bhaja Govindam. We all know Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi nahi rakshati Dugran Karane. Dugran Karane is a Vyakaranam where he was practicing this Vyakaranam. He was practicing means he was memorizing this at the old age. So Bhagavan said, so Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada said, Bhaja Govindam. You chant Bhagavan's name. Bhaja. You remember him. Govinda means that the subject matter of Vedas, that is Govinda. Govinda, Gobir Veda Vakyaihi Vidyate ya Labhyate iti Govindaha. So, Brahman or Bhagavan. Bhagavan is Govinda and Bhaja Govindam. Instead of taking Bhagavan's name, you are practicing Vyakaranam and so many other things. People get involved, right? Instead of taking Bhagavan's name, we are interested in so many other things which will not lead to remember God at the last moment. And also, there is a beautiful story in Srimad Bhagavatam. You must have heard Ajamila Upakhyanam. Ajamila, he was a very religious and very pious person who was doing all pujas and other things. Okay, very religious person, thinking about Bhagavan only all the time in his younger days. And because of some prarabdha, he fell for a prostitute and then he started living with her, and then they had many children, and the youngest one he named as Narayana. He named as Narayana, and then he caught up with some disease, and he was on his deathbed, and then he called his last son Narayana, he called. But what happened is, by chanting that name Narayana, even though it is his son's name, by chanting his name, it triggered all that auspicious and good practices which he was doing in his earlier days. He was a very religious person, and he had taken Bhagavan's name all the time, and he had a lot of bhakti. He understood Vedas, but somehow because of this prarabdha he fell for this prostitute, and he was in the bhoga, etc. But during his deathbed, the moment he called Narayana, it triggered all that flashback, and there was a satsang going on in his mind. In his mind, a satsang was going on, and that satsang is a talk between Vishnu Parshadas and Yama Dutas. So they had a conversation. So if you are interested, you can read Srimad Bhagavatam, and through that satsang, he recollected Bhagavan's name, and then that is how he found moksham, mukti. It is not just by chanting his son's name he got mukti. No, he had all that culture, the samskara was there. In his earlier so many years, he was a very religious and good pious person. Because of that, even when he fell, by just chanting Bhagavan's name, even though it was his son's name, but it triggered the flashback, and through that he started remembering God, and he knew what mistake he has done, and all that samskaram came back, and through the satsang in his mind he reached God. That is the Ajamilopakhyanam. So the point is, unless and until we do abhyasam, we do practice taking Bhagavan's name, when the intellect is intact, that abhyasam will continue at the last breath also. See, we know that whatever we remember last, we remember. See, suppose assume you are traveling in a train, okay, and you are traveling in a train, you may have some purse or some jewelry or something in your handbag, right? So from home only the parents will tell, hey, be careful, there are thieves, so they will snatch your bag. Even if you are sleeping on your bed in a bunker, you know, if it is close to the window in a railway station, when it stops, somebody will snatch you through the window. All that we are taught, right? So we will remember, all the time we will remember that only, oh, money is there, I have to take care of it, jewelry is there. And when we are inside the train also, all the time thinking of that only. And before going to sleep, we will keep it very close to our head, like a pillow, or below the pillow, or we may tie it. And then in between, if there is a shake of the train, then we will get up. First thing what we will remember, oh, the bag is intact or not, the bag is safe, yeah, bag is safe, and we go back to sleep. And when we get up in the morning, first thing we will check is whether the bag is okay or not, the money is there intact or not. We might even open the bag and see whether the jewelry is there inside, money is not, so somebody has taken out. No, we will check that only. So what does this shows? It shows that whatever we remember before we go to sleep, we will remember that only when we get up from the sleep. The sleep is nothing but a small death, chota death it is. So Whatever we remember at the time of sleeping, we remember in the morning also when we, same thing, whatever you remember before going, tomorrow morning I have to do this, I have to do that, all that when we remember, the morning as soon as you get up, you remember that only. Whatever we planned at the time of sleeping, before we go to sleep, that only we remember when we get up in the morning. Right? So that is what Bhagavan says, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalebaram yah prayati sa madbhavam. Madbhavam yati. The life, the next life will be corresponding to our samskara during our last breath. And if that last breath is not God, whatever be the thought, it will come back. That bhavam only will come. Here, how to remember God at all times? The only way is practice that. Abhyasam. We have to do that abhyasam of taking God's name, Bhagavan's name at all times, so that at the last breath we will remember God. See, in Parikshit, in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Parikshit asks, what is the purpose of life to Shuka Brahma? So the answer is, Shukacharya says, Ante Narayana Smritihi. Ante Narayana Smritihi. That is the purpose of life. Right? So this is the meaning of this verse. Atra samshayaha nasti. There is absolutely no doubt that saha madbhavam yati. This is the guarantee given by Bhagavan. Who remembers me, who remembers Brahman, who remembers Bhagavan at the time of last breath, he will reach me, he will attain me. Okay? In that there is no doubt. So Bhaja Govindam at all times. So the same point Bhagavan emphasis in the next verse. 6th verse, 8:6. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalebaram tam tame vaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Sada tad bhava bhavitaha. In life, most of the time, whatever one imagines or whatever we remember or think, okay, or whatever state of mind we are in, sada tad bhava bhavitaha tam tameva. The same bhavam he attains when the person drops his body. Whatever we practice, same thing, whatever the previous words, it is just an explanation only. Whatever we practice during our lifetime, if someone is very much interested to make money all the time, he will remember about his money only at that time. Or if someone remembers of all that, whatever he has done, the karma, whatever karma I did this, I did that, etc. When with a lot of ahankara, one who thinks, during old age also, the person thinks about that only. You can see this around you. We can see this phenomenon among all the old people around you. They will be talking about their past, that I did this, I did that. They don't remember anything about God. Maybe in between for some time they might remember. But most of the time they will remember whatever most of the things they did. Or most of the remembrance they have. Most of the things that with a lot of ahankara, I want to make, I did this, I did that, etc. Or any past sorrowful memories also. Sad. I was sad because of this, I suffered that. This only they remember. Nobody remembers about God. At some, maybe for a few moments, they will chant some slokas or God's names, but most of the time, we will remember that only. Because that is what we have been practicing. Sada tad bhava bhavitaha. there is a story. There was a businessman, he had a shop, and he had about 5-6 children. And then the shop is very big shop. He had this shop, and then he fell sick, and then the children, they were looking after the big shop, and he was in his deathbed. In his deathbed, he is not unable to communicate. So this thing, he was very feebly only he was talking. His voice also had gone low, and he looked around he was looking around. He saw that all his children are here. 6 children, all 6 are there. All 6 boys are around, his wife, everyone is there. Suddenly he thought, who is there in the shop? Who is there in the shop? Instead of thinking God, he was thinking, who is there in the shop? And the last breath went away. He died. This is what will happen if we remember, or if we practice thinking of all other worldly things. That is what Bhagavan said, Sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Whatever in the normal days, normal lifetime we remember most, okay, and that when kalebaram tyajanti, while dropping the body, hey, ante yam va api bhavam smaran, whatever one imagines or recollects at the last moment, tameva bhavam he attains. He reaches that only. So whatever he has been practicing during his lifetime, he will remember at the time of death, the so-called death, and that will continue further. After the deep sleep, we call it death, there will be a new life with the same vasana inside. The seed is there, and that seed will sprout, and slowly you can see the manifestation of that vasanas as a new life. This is the whole process. So Bhagavan clearly says the 2 rules. What are the 2 rules? 1, whatever they think during their lifetime, they will remember the same thing at the time of death. And rule number 2, whatever one thinks at the time of death, that will be the sprout, or he will become that. He wants to be a millionaire at the time of death, definitely in his next life he will try to become a millionaire. That vasana will remain. So yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalebaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. That is why in Srimad Bhagavatam there is a verse. Shuka Brahma says, Etavan sankhya yogabhyam swadharma parinishthaya janmalabhav parah pumsam ante narayana smritihi. By the knowledge of Sankhya and Yoga, by the Jnanam or Sankhya Yogam, through Sankhya Yogam and Karma Yogam, through this Jnanam and doing Swadharma Nishtha, while performing the Swadharmam, whatever job they are doing, okay, whatever duty they are doing to earn money, look after family and parents, etc., while performing that as a Karma Yoga, and by the Sankhya, that knowledge of what is my true nature, then he gains, okay, he gains steadiness in Swadharmam, and he obtains fulfillment. Janma labhaha parah pumsam ante narayana spritihi. That only, okay, while practicing Jnanam and Karma Yogam, through that one remembers God, ante Narayana Smritihi, remembers Narayana. Okay, so with that we will move to the 7th verse, which is so beautiful. So Bhagavan says, how to do this? How to? The two verses he said, Ante, whatever you remember, he will become that. Okay? And now Bhagavan says, how to reach there? How to do it? Okay, it's a fantastic verse. This verse is excellent for Nididhyasanam also. 8-7, 7th verse. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yudhyacha mayarpita mano buddhihi mame vaishyasya samshayaha. We'll read one more time. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yudhyacha Mai arpita mano buddhihi mame vaishyasya samshayaha. Tasmat, because of this, because of the previous two verses where Bhagavan explained that whatever bhavam we have at the time of dropping this body. See here, ante means during death. Also, it is interpreted as when you drop the body, or when you drop the notion of you are the body also. When the notion of I am the body, when I drop that also it can be called ante. Okay. So while dropping the body, so during the time whatever we remember, we will have that bhavam. That means he becomes a Jivan Mukta when while alive, we drop the notion of I am the body, becomes a Jivan Mukta, and that is the bhavam. The bhavam of a Jivan Mukti is Jivatma. I am not Jiva, but I am Paramatma. That Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam is experienced as Atma Anubhavam. Okay, that when the person is alive, that Jivan Mukti. So dropping the body need not be just at the time of death or at the time of dropping the notion that I am this body also. That can be interpreted that way also. So that time, whatever bhavam he has, he continues that bhavam. Okay. So how to reach that? How to get it over there? That is Bhagavan explains. Tasmat, because of that, Sarveshu kaleshu, okay, Sarveshu kaleshu, at all times, that is morning, afternoon, evening, night, in between also. Sarveshu kaleshu means every moment in our lives. Ma manusmara, you remember me. Ma manusmara, remember me. Yudhyacha, do your duty. See, in Arjuna's case, Yuddham, the war is his Swadharma, which is his Prarabdha. It is not easy thing. It is a very, very difficult Prarabdha Arjuna has. We should be lucky that we are not in a war, even though we are in war at some other context. But not like Arjuna. We are blessed that way. But Arjuna has this prarabdha of, he is a Kshatriya and he has that responsibility, and the war is his Swadharma, and that Swadharma has come in front of him. Right? Edrichaya chopapannam swargadwaram apavrutam. In second chapter said, this is a boon that has come in front of Arjuna as a war, because his Swadharmam is Yuddham, and there is an opportunity to carry out his Swadharma through which he can get rid of the Vasana of war, Vasana of fight, etc. Right? So, Yudhyacha is secondary. Important thing is Sarveshu Kaleshu Ma Manusmara. Ma Manusmara is the primary thing. That is the main thing we have to do. And Yudhyacha is do your Swadharma. So for us, wherever we are, whatever we are, whatever is our Swadharma, while performing our duty, while performing our swadharma, looking after our family or looking after the parents or children or other social responsibilities, whatever we do, while practicing it, sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara, you remember me. How to remember me? Then Sankhya Yogam helps, right? The Jnanam. See, there are people who have this Saguna Brahmopasana. That means they have, everyone will have an Ishta Devata. Some will have Ishta Devata as Shiva or Krishna or Ganapati or Skanda or Kali, Durga or various, right? Mahavishnu, Guruvayurappa, right? Ayyappa or any Ishta Devata. Let it be any Ishta Devata. There is no problem at all. Whoever that Ishta Devata, remember him as everything. Right? See, Bhagavan is Sarvatnyaha, Sarvagataha, right? He is omnipresent, right? Sarvatnyaha, omniscient, and who is all pervading, right? So we know God as this. So if one has Ishta Devata as Sri Krishna, he will see Sri Krishna in everything around him. All the animals, plants, all the sun, moon, everything he or she will see as Sri Krishna only. That is how we remember. We remember Krishna, we remember Paramashiva, we remember Mahavishnu as everything and do the Swadharmam. That Vishwasam, that faith should be there, that there is a power which controls the law of karma in this world. Right? This clear belief that Bhagavan Sri Krishna is there in everywhere around. That is Saguna Brahmopasana. That is we all can have our own Ishta Devata and know that all that is that Ishta Devata, thinking about that Bhagavan, whichever Ishta Devata that is, one performs a Swadharmam, then at the last moment, at the last breath, he will remember that. This is the Abhyasam, right? Abhyasam. This Abhyasam has to be continued throughout the life because we don't know. We discussed already. When the last breath will be there, we have no idea. There is no time. We don't have time, much time. We don't know when. So much before that, if we practice thinking about other than money, name and fame, etc., right? These things are not important because that has never given me happiness, but only Bhagavan, which is there in me as well as everywhere. One who remembers this way as that which is all pervading, which is the cause of all the appearances here, one who remembers this way will merge with me. That is what Bhagavan said. So tasmat, because of that, sarveshu kaleshu, at all times remember me. See, Atma Sakshatkaram is not achieved by not doing karma. It is not by running away from life. It is impossible to merge with God if someone tries to run away from wherever they are, from family life or some other social life or whatever job they have, whatever swadharma they have. If one tries to run away from that, it is impossible for that person to achieve Bhagavan. And then we might ask, then how come some people have left their family? Naturally, it is naturally they have left. They don't have any inclination towards that. It is not laziness. They have no moham. There is no illusion there. That happens with the very few people like Shankaracharya or so many other jnanis who became jnanis at a very young age. And because of their previous life's culture, samskaram, But all others who are in wherever their karma is, so not without running away from whatever they do, staying there at the center of action, practice karma yoga. Know that the all pervading God, as whichever Ishtadevata it is. This is how a person who has the faith in Saguna Brahma Upasana, Saguna Brahma, and those who are Nirguna Brahma Upasakas, or who don't have the inclination, natural inclination is Nirguna Upasana, then they see everything as Bodham, consciousness. And my true nature is I am this consciousness. Arupam, there is no Rupam. Whereas the Sagunopasaka has got a Rupam. Whichever form they can imagine themselves. And imagine means, does not mean that imagination is not true. So then that is a parda, that is the obstacle. That is the obstacle between a bhakta reaching God. The obstacle is that don't have the belief, true belief. They think that it is my bhavana, it is my imagination that such a God exists. That will not help. That will not help. Right? So those bhaktas who really believe that there is a God who has a body and a shape. So one who believes that truly with 100% faith, they see that Bhagavan in everything around them, including his own body. So such a person will get moksha, that is Saguna Brahmopasana. And the other, who is the Nirgunopasakas, they believe in Nirguna Brahman. So they believe that I am the consciousness, and the in my consciousness the world appears, and all that appearing as this and that is that consciousness alone, that Bodham alone and Brahmam alone. That is why in Bhagavata said, no, Brahmedi Paramatmedi Bhagavanidi Shabdyate. Bhaktas called Bhagavan, the yogis called Paramatma, and the Vedantins called Brahmam. So all are same only. There is no difference between all this. So whichever way, there is a beautiful story told by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. There was a big tree, huge tree, and one person came and told that I saw a lizard sort of a thing, an animal there in that tree, which color is red. Then another person said, yeah, I also saw that, but the color is not red, it is grey. Then the third person said, yeah, I also saw that animal in that tree, it is yellow. So all of three went to the tree to see, that animal. So there was a person sitting below the tree. He said that all three, whatever you said is all correct only. All are correct. Every time it changes its colors. That is the chameleon. The chameleon, it changes colors, it changes colors. Sometimes it looks red, sometimes it is yellow, sometimes it is grey. You are all right. Right? Similarly, one who realizes the truth, one who realizes the Satyam, that person does not have any problem with Sagunopasana. Absolutely no problem. It is okay, because Bhagavan appears in many forms. Bhagavan can appear as Rama or Krishna or Skanda or Paramashiva, or any form Bhagavan can appear. Right? Bhagavan can appear in any form, in human form. See, actually in our day-to-day life, Bhagavan appears. Right? So that may not be so evident. We will not know it. We will not know it. See, there is a story I heard just yesterday only from Swami Akhandananda Saraswati. I was listening his talk. He said that he and when he was very young, he and his friend, they were, going from place to place as parivrajagas, at maybe in their 20s. So they, in search of, Adhyatmam, they were going as parivrajaga's. So they reached a railway station at about 10:30 night, walked for many kilometers. They walked, they did not have any food at all. They reached the railway station, and in the railway station 10:30, they were so tired. The next train, they said it will come only in the morning, so they just want to sleep. Somehow they wanted to take rest only. At that time, about night 10:30, 11 o'clock, two boys came to them, very healthy boys. They came and asked them, "Did you have food?" So at that time, Swami says that we never had any clue. So they just casually said that, "No, we didn't have food, that's all. We didn't have food." So they said that, "Just wait." They went and then brought some food and gave them food. At that time also they never thought anything. They had food, and then they asked, "Who are you?" They said that they are nearby, there is a farmhouse, there is a farm, and then we are staying there. So we came for a walk, night stroll we came, and then we saw you and then give. And they slept. Early morning they got up and then wanted to go to that place, where they had food and all. Who gave the food? There was no kheti, there was no house anywhere close to that area. And they asked the station master and all the people there, "Is there any boys or you have a child or anyone?" Nobody has any clue. They were never to be seen. Then only they realized that Bhagavan appears in whichever form, we have no idea, we have no clue. But during the time, all that when they had food or this thing, they never thought. This is I heard from his own mouth, his own discussion, his own talk I heard, Swami Akhandananda Saraswati. So like that, we also have come across such many situations, but we fail to recognize it. We fail to recognize it. Okay, so the point is, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Ma Manusmara and Yudhyacha. Do your duty, do your Swadharma. And the knowing what is Swadharmam also we have explained many times. Swadharmam is where you will do with lot of love and passion. Whatever Swadharma you do, you with love and passion you will be doing. Then you will have a lot of time. Okay, you will have a lot of time to read the scriptures, etc. Not only that, while performing the action, we will be able to remember God also. Okay, so Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Ma Manusmara Yudhyacha. See, there was a conversation between Shuka, I just remembered, Shuka Brahmam and King Janaka. There was a conversation. There, the Shuka Brahmam asked King Janaka. King Janaka is a jnani. So asked Janaka that how do you manage this whole kingdom? It is so difficult. How are you able to do this? And stay in that yoga sthiti. How is it possible? So Janaka said, that is okay, but how are you able to manage it? He asked Shuka Brahmam. Shuka Brahmam said, see, my Swadharmam is very little. I have to just do some puja or whatever, I pray and etc. And then I go and, collect some food. I beg for my food. That's all. My Swadharmam is very little. I don't use my mind at all. Very small portion, little only of my mind only required. So King Janaka said, that much mind only required for me to take care of this kingdom. What a beautiful conversation this. So here, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Ma Manusmara Yudhyacha. Do your Swadharmam, remembering me at all times. Okay, every moment when we are awake and before we go to sleep also, we take Bhagavan's name, and when we wake up also, we continue that. See, remembering Bhagavan can be done many ways. We can use Nama Sankirtanam. We can chant Bhagavan's name aloud, or we can think of Bhagavan in our mind, or chant Bhagavan's name in our mind also. So, somehow remember God, remember Bhagavan at all times. Sarveshu Kaleshu, very, very important point. Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara. Yudhyacha, do your Swadharmam. Then the next, Mayarpita Mano Buddhihi. Mind and intellect, you surrender to me. You surrender your mind and intellect to me. This is Sharanagati. This is total Sharanagati. Right? So, Mam Anusva, Mai Arpita Mano Buddhihi, you surrender to me, then Mame Vaishyasya Samshayaha. Mam Eva Eshyati, you will attain me asamshayaha. Mame Vaishyas asamshayaha. There is no doubt, without any doubt, you will attain me, you will reach me. By what? By Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara, do your Swadharma. Then, my Arpita Mano Buddhihi, mind and intellect, you surrender to me. You surrender to me means you remove your doership. Leave everything on me. You accept whatever is happening in our lives, you accept and do your Swadharma. Continue your Swadharma, remembering me, and surrender to me. Surrender your intellect and your mind. See, the mind produces this ahankara, from ahankara the mind develops. So when we drop our doership, naturally the enjoyership also goes away along with that. One who enjoys, that means there is a doership there. Drop your doership. This dropping of the doership is through Karma Yoga. By performing our actions, whenever the mind gets disturbed, the disturbance of the mind is because of the attachment towards the phalam, result of an action. By knowingly, by intellectual understanding, you accept it as Bhagavan's prasada. Right? By this constant practice will ultimately take you towards me, to me. That is what Bhagavan says. Tasmai arpita manobuddhihi mame vaishyasya asamshayaha. There is absolutely no doubt. So for that, you practice abhyasam, you practice this by either sagunopasana or through your Ishta Devata or Nirgunopasana. Any way, it is perfectly alright. There is absolutely no confusion here. There is no confusion here. Only point is, you see God in everything around you as well as yourself. That's all. It can be any Ishta Devata or Nirguna Devata. It's all fine. Nirguna Brahman. Anything is fine. It is similarly, one who understands this way will have no doubt, like the story of that chameleon, right? So, it changes color. You understood, no? Chameleon is what we call in Tamil call it ond. It changes its colors. So, that story is a beautiful one where we have no confusion, we have absolutely no doubt that this is the way. So this sloka is such a wonderful sloka. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara yudhyacha mayarpita mano buddhihi mame vaishyasya samshayaha. Okay, so we'll continue from 8th verse in our next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Harihi Om Tatsat Brahmarpanamastu.